A musician has a new song available for downloading or streaming. The musician earns $0.09 each time the song is downloaded and $0.002 each time the song is streamed. Which of the following expressions represents the amount in dollars that the musician earns if the song is downloaded D times and streamed S times? The musician earns $0.09 each time the song is downloaded, and the variable for the times the song is downloaded is D. And we know that the musician earns $0.002 each time the song is streamed, which is the variable S. So then you just need to choose the correct choice out of the answers, and it should be C. Now, for these types of questions, you need to be careful about which coefficients are placed in front of which variables, because sometimes they might want to trip you up. For example, in one of the other choices, the coefficients are switched around, so you have 0.002D plus 0.09S. So just be careful about those. A quality control manager at a factory selects 7 light bulbs at random for inspection out of every 400 light bulbs produced. At this rate, how many light bulbs will be inspected if the factory produces 20,000 light bulbs? So we know that we're given a rate, a proportion in this problem, which is 7 light bulbs inspected per 400 light bulbs produced. So now that we have this rate and this proportion, which is 7 out of 400 for inspected over produced, and the question asks us how many will be inspected if 20,000 light bulbs are produced, all we have to do is take 20,000 light bulbs produced and multiply that by the ratio we have of inspected over produced, which would give us 7 light bulbs inspected per 400 light bulbs produced, and then your final result should be 350 light bulbs inspected out of a total of 20,000 light bulbs produced. And that's answer B. L equals 24 plus 3.5 m. They ask you one end of a spring is attached to a ceiling. When an object of mass m kilograms is attached to the other end of the spring stretches to the length of L centimeters as shown in the equation above. What is m when L is 73? And for this, we just plug 73 in for L in the equation. L equals 24 plus 3.5 m. So this is pretty straightforward. When L is 73, we can solve for m by solving a algebraic equation like we normally do. So we take 24 from both sides, and then that gives us 49 equals 3.5 m, and then your final result should be m is equal to 14 when L is 73, and that is answer choice A. The amount of money a performer earns is directly proportional to the number of people attending the performance. The performer earns $120 at a performance where 8 people attend. So we know we have the performer earns $120 per performance that 8 people attend. All right, and now moving to the specifics of question 4, how much money will the performer earn when 20 people attend a performance? We want to find out for 20 people, how much money does the performer earn? So we want to find out how many dollars the performer makes when there are 20 people if we know they make $120 at a performance of 8 people. So just like before, we can cross multiply to solve for x. So what we do is $120 times 20 people equals 8 people times x dollars. And just like before, we can solve for this x. So we have 2,400 divided by 8 equals x, which will give us a total of $300 at a performance where 20 people attend, and that is answer C. The performer uses 43% of the money earned to pay the costs involved in putting on each performance. The rest of the money earned is the performer's profit. What is the profit the performer makes at a performance where 8 people attend? For a performance where 8 people attend, the performer earns $120. So we know the performer uses 43% of the money to pay the cost for the performance. So we can just do $120 times 0.43, which is 43%. And then you can just use your calculator to find out how much that would be. And that would be $51.60. So those are the costs involved in putting on the performance. To find out how much she actually earned, you would just do how much she made from the performance minus the total cost of putting on the performance to find out her profit. And then to do that, you would go back to your calculator, and her total profit would be $68.4. And that's answer choice C. So another way you could have done this problem is you could have first subtracted 43% from 100%, and that would give you 67%, which would be her profit from her performance. So then if you know the percentage of her profit, all you need to do is $120 times 67%, or 0.67, and that would also give you $68.40, which is answer choice C. So it depends on which method you are more comfortable with, but either works. When 4 times the number x is added to 12, the result is 8. What number results when 2 times x is added to 7? So 4 times the number x is added to 12, and then the result is 8. In the next part of the question, we see 2 times x is added to 7, and the question wants us to solve this expression. What happens when 2 times x is added to 7? So what we can first do is solve for x from this first equation right here, like a normal algebraic expression. So we subtract 12 from both sides. And here we get 4x equals negative 4. You solve for x, and you get x equals negative 1. Then you want to plug this value for x into the expression 7 plus 2x to get the result of the equation. And what you do is you plug it in. So you have 7 plus 2 times negative 1, and that will give you a result of 5. So the final answer for question 6 is B, which is 5. Y equals x squared minus 6x plus 7. The equation above represents a parabola in the xy plane. Which of the following equivalent forms of the equation displays the x-intercepts of the parabola as constants or coefficients? So usually for quadratic equations given to you on the SAT, you should be able to factor them. And if you can't factor them, then you should be able to plug them into your calculator and graph to find the x-intercepts. So right now, seeing this equation, y equals x squared minus 6x plus 8, I want to see if I can factor it myself first. And for factoring, you just see what numbers multiply to give you this last number, 8, but add to give you the coefficient in front of x, negative 6. So I know the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, 8, but then don't forget the negative. So we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 4, and negative 8. So immediately looking at this, I see that when you multiply negative 2 and negative 4, you get 8, and when you add negative 2 plus negative 4, you get negative 6. So now I know when I factor it, my equation will end up being y equals x minus 2 and y equals x minus 4. And you know that this form will give you the x-intercepts when you plug 0 in for y. So we have 0 equals x minus 2 and x minus 4. And to get 0, you can multiply anything by 0 to get 0. So that means we have x minus 2 can be 0, or x minus 4 can be 0. Or both of them can be 0. So then we just solve for x, so we have x equals 2 and x equals 4, and that gives us our two x-intercepts. So already right here, we've gone a couple steps too far. The question just asks which equation displays your x-intercepts for you, and this will be enough. So your final answer will be answer choice D. Question 8 reads, in a video game, each player starts the game with K points and loses 2 points each time a task is not completed. If a player who gains no additional points and fails to complete 100 tasks has a score of 200 points, what is the value of k? So we know the player starts with k points, and they lose 2 points each time a task isn't completed. So let's say that t is equal to the number of tasks not completed. And for each of those tasks not completed, the player loses 2 points. So we have their total number of points minus 2 times t, the number of tasks not completed. And if the player does not earn additional points, this is our general equation. And in the question, the player doesn't have additional points. So we know they start with k points, and they have 100 tasks not completed, so we have 2 times 100, and this amount is the total number of points lost for tasks not completed. And then we know that the result is 200 points. So this is just an algebraic equation we can solve for k, and we see we have 2k minus 200 equals 200, and then we know that the player started off with 400 points, and that is answer choice D. So first, for algebraic problems, you want to make sure that your coefficients match your corresponding variables. So that's like for question 1 when we're asked about the musician who earns a different amount when the song is downloaded and streamed. So you want to make sure that the amount per download or per stream matches the correct variable. Next, we have proportion problems. So you want to make sure when you scale the proportion up or down, you have the correct values in the corresponding numerators and denominators. So then we have word algebraic problems, I like to call them, which is easiest just to follow through step by step and then write down what you believe the result will be and then see if any of the answer choices match.